What's up YouTube, this is Genesis 121. Got another video here in my how to set up a quarantine tank series. So basically after you've got all your equipment for your quarantine tank, you got the water in it, you've got it running, you need to make a decision on whether or not you want to set up a permanent quarantine system or a temporary or emergency quarantine tank. And what I mean by that is, if you're going to set up a permanent quarantine tank, then what you'll need to do is cycle it. So in order to cycle, and everyone in this hobby mostly knows about cycling, it's just going through the nitrogen cycle to build up the beneficial bacteria in your aquarium, so they'll be able to eliminate that waste that gets put off from your fish that you may put in your tank. So what I did with this tank here is I use Dr. Foster & Smith live nitrifying bacteria. There's a bunch of bacterias like this that come in a bottle, and basically you can use any one of those, and it'll help that accelerate your cycle of your tank rather than just letting it go naturally. And you'll need an ammonia source. So for me, what I use is this Ace janitorial strength pure ammonia, and just put a very little bit of that in there just to provide an ammonia source to get those to feed those bacteria, to get those going. And in here, if you have a filter or something, like I have a hang on the back filter there, and then I have an internal filter as well. Now my hang on the back filter I have is where I store my it has a UV sterilizer incorporated in it, and then I put carbon back there. Now as far as biological filtration, that's where I have all that inside of this internal filter. So inside there I have ceramic rings, and as you can see on top there, I have two sponge foam filter pads. And that's where, inside there is where your biological, where that nitrifying bacteria is going to populate inside there. And it'll populate on other surfaces in the tank, but that's mainly where I'm looking for it to populate in there. So with this, it'll usually, using this beneficial bacteria in a bottle, you can, in a tank this size, you'll probably cycle this tank in like a week. So not too long, pretty quick cycle process. You just want to look out. You'll see your ammonia spike, that'll go down, your nitrite spike, and that'll go down, and then your nitrate spike. And then after that, your tank has cycled, and it'll be ready for you to add fish to it. You just want to make sure that if you don't have fish in it and you want to keep a permanent quarantine tank, that you keep adding an ammonia source to feed those bacteria. So that's pretty much it. Now, even if you cycle your tank, you want to stay on top of your water changes, especially in quarantine tanks. So you want to make sure you're doing water changes pretty often. I have this Seachem ammonia alert, and that thing works good at letting me know if I'm having an ammonia spike in there. So another thing I would recommend, if you're going to be using any medications in the tank, especially copper, I would recommend that you remove your biological filtration, because most of the time copper-based medications or anything like that will kill off your beneficial bacteria that are in your tank. So you could remove your wherever you're harvesting that, and if you're going to be dosing with like copper, just stay on top of your water changes and go that route.